Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real today. If you want to make a man miss you, really miss you, you have to stop doing what you've been doing. See, most people think it's about texting him, chasing him, showing him more love, proving how much you care. No, that's not how it works. A man doesn't miss what he never had to work for. He misses what he feels is slipping away, what he fears losing. And that fear comes from your silence, from your absence, from the darkness you leave behind when you walk away quietly, without begging, without explaining, without waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to understand something today that most people don't talk about. It's not the physical distance that makes someone miss you. It's the emotional absence. It's not about moving to another city, cutting the phone lines, or blocking someone off social media. That's easy. Anybody can go silent, but emotional absence, that's a different kind of power. That's when you stop showing up in the ways you used to. You stop offering your warmth, your support, your energy. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to argue, block, delete, or even disappear. You just become emotionally unavailable, and I promise you that man will feel it in his bones. Let me tell you something. A man can be in the same room with you and still feel like he's lost you. That's when it hits him. That's when his mind starts spinning. Because when a woman who once gave him her full presence, her attention, her loyalty, and her emotional energy suddenly becomes quiet, calm, and distant, it shakes his soul. It confuses him because he's used to having you emotionally present. He's used to your good mornings, your check-ins, your care. And when all of that stops, not because you're being petty, but because you've had enough, that silence becomes loud, that absence becomes haunting. See, when you start the EP back emotionally, you don't just leave a space, you create a void. And that void isn't filled by just any other woman. It's not about replacing you physically. It's about trying to replace what you made him feel. And the truth is, most of the time he can't. He can't find that emotional bond, that safety, that comfort he took for granted. He goes out trying to distract himself, maybe talks to someone new, maybe goes out with the boys, maybe scrolls through his phone. But the end of the night, it hits him. It hits him that something is missing. And what's missing is you. Now let me make something real clear. You don't have to beg anybody to miss you. That's not your job. Your job is to be so full of self-worth, so in tune with your own peace, that when you stop emotionally investing in someone who didn't value you, they feel the shift. They feel that drop. It's like going from sunshine to cold shadow. That's how powerful your emotional presence is. And when you take it away, not out of revenge, but out of self-respect, it speaks louder than words ever could. This a man doesn't miss you because you post sad quotes. He doesn't miss you because you threaten to leave. He misses you when you stop responding emotionally, when you no longer give him access to your thoughts, your feelings, your heart, when he realizes that you're smiling more, talking less, and moving different. That's what gets him. Because emotional absence is something he can't measure, he can't predict, and he sure can't control. He'll look back at the moments where you used to light up when he walked in, the times you stayed up listening to his problems, the days you poured into him while he barely noticed. And now all of a sudden, that light is gone, that warmth is missing. You're still there, maybe in the background, but emotionally you've checked out. And that's what makes him panic. That's what keeps him up at night. That's what creates the longing. Ladies and gentlemen, people think love is about constant presence. But sometimes what really teaches someone your worth is your emotional absence. When your energy is no longer theirs to lean on, when your words are no longer soft and soothing, when your emotions are no longer tied to their actions, that's when they realize what they lost. Because emotional connection is rare. And when a woman pulls back that emotional energy, she becomes unforgettable. Not because of what she did, but because of what she stopped doing. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that a lot of people overlook when it comes to relationships. If you want to stay in a man's mind, if you want to make him think about you long after you're gone, you need to understand the power of mystery. Predictability is the death of desire. The moment a man thinks he has you figured out, the moment he knows every move you're going to make, he stops chasing, he stops wondering, and he stops caring the way he used to. Why? Because there's nothing left to explore. And men by nature are hunters. They want to explore. They want to conquer. But more than that, they want to be intrigued. And nothing creates that burning curiosity like a woman who doesn't reveal all her cards. Let me break it down for you. When you're always available, always explaining yourself, always reacting to his actions, he doesn't have to try. He doesn't have to think about what you're thinking, where your mind is, or how you feel, because you're constantly handing it all to him on a silver platter. But the woman who moves in silence, who keeps her emotions disciplined, who doesn't share every detail, she's the one who lingers in his thoughts because he doesn't know what she's thinking. He doesn't know if she still wants him. He doesn't know if she's waiting or walking away. And that unknown, that's what drives him crazy. You see, being unpredictable doesn't mean being toxic. It means being in control. It means you don't allow a man to map out your every reaction. You don't give him the playbook. One day you're warm, the next you're distant. Not because you're playing games, but because your world doesn't revolve around him. You have your own life, your own plans, your own peace. And that makes him wonder. It makes him question where he stands with you. And that question, that's what keeps you in his head. Men don't obsess over women who are easy to read. They obsess over the ones they can't figure out. The ones who don't explain why they pulled back. The ones who don't chase, the ones who can smile and walk away without leaving breadcrumbs. That kind of woman becomes a mystery, and that mystery becomes a challenge. And let me tell you, no man forgets a challenge. He may act like he's unbothered, like he's cool without you. But when he can't predict you, when he can't control you, he starts checking your online status, watching your stories, asking mutual friends about you, because his curiosity is on fire. And let's be honest, curiosity is the beginning of obsession. The more questions he has about you, the more time he spends thinking about you. And that time, that's when missing you begins. That's when he replays old conversations, rereads messages, tries to decode your last words because he doesn't know what you're doing. And it bothers him. It stirs something inside him that he can't shut off. He starts realizing he took your energy for granted because now it's gone, and he has no clue if it's ever coming back. The truth is, men are used to access. They're used to women explaining, reacting, begging, chasing. So when you take a different route, when you become the woman who protects her energy, keeps her thoughts to herself, and doesn't broadcast every move, you become rare. And rare women are remembered, not because they gave too much, but because they gave just enough to leave a mark and held back enough to stay unpredictable. That balance is powerful. So when you walk with mystery, when your actions don't match what he expects, when your emotions are not on display for him to manipulate, you gain power, real power. Because now he's not just thinking about you, he's trying to figure you out. He's trying to understand what changed. And that question keeps echoing in his mind. That silence, that unpredictability, that mystery, it's what keeps you unforgettable. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that most people don't understand until it's too late. Silence and distance are some of the most powerful psychological tools you can ever use. See, people think love is about doing more, saying more, proving more, but real impact often comes from doing less. Sometimes saying nothing is the loudest thing you can do. Sometimes your silence echoes louder in someone's mind than